on, someone has to ask. Come on, you have to ask questions, please.
Well, we've had a lot of new people come in since you began, so you might want to tell them the...
Yeah, this is the Convention War Stories panel. This is where we tell you the very funny things about conventions. If you think it's glamorous and you fly around first class and stay in the Ritz-Carlton, folks, as you can already see, we already have mentally unstable people. And they don't go to the Ritz-Carlton. You know, this is the place to be. So to make this panel work, you have to ask questions. And sir, you had your hand up, so please go ahead.
What's the most interesting person you've met at a convention?
Most interesting person guest, most interesting person attendee, most interesting person staff, or most interesting person overall?
Overall.
What's your definition of interesting?
What's the name?
I think this guy you just talked about pretty much talked.
Yeah, it could be anybody. Like it'd be crazier.
Well, I ran into somebody. Okay. This person is not here right now, and I only say this because it was the most recent thing. But they come up to me, and I'm signing an autograph and taking pictures of someone, and I'm right here, and they're standing there like this, and they go, "Hello, Todd." I'm not over there, I'm standing right here. "Hi, Todd." And I say, I'm like, "Hi, how are you?" And his little hand, he goes, little hand comes out, and I shake it, and he goes, "I didn't like Suzuka." Now, Suzuka was my first lead role. And so he goes, "I didn't like Suzuka." And at this point, he is looking at me. And I said, "Oh, well, I'm sorry that you didn't like it." He goes, "I really didn't like you voicing that character." I'm like, "Okay, where's this going? Why are you telling me all these things that you hate about me?" And then so Mike McFarlane was there, and he goes, "Wait, you mean the girl Suzuka or the show?" And he goes, "No, the whole show. I didn't like his lines. I didn't like his, like all this list of like things that he doesn't like about me, and I'm shrinking and and so he just goes on and on and on about it, and then he's like, "I didn't like how you changed all the lines in the script and all this stuff." And I go, "I didn't change any lines at all. I don't even know how to read. What are you doing?" This went on, and that was the most interesting situation, because it's like, why would you travel? It's almost like, okay, what con is Todd going to be at? That's what I'm going to tell him. I gotta get him now. "Hi, American Airlines, I need one haters flight." Yes, 2 seats. My sword needs to come with me. And then he gets there, and he's seeking me out just to tell me that. And it was very strange, and you know, we all need a little humbling every now and then, and that was my humbling for the day. That happened about 7 hours ago, actually. And I'll remember him next time I see him, too. It'd be fun. I meant to not say if it was a guy or a girl, but it was a guy. It was a guy, you too.
It was a dude. Yeah, it was a dude. Most interesting person I met, I'll tell you, it's the Jack Bauer story. It was Monday night, it was around 2005. Yes. So I wanted to get home and watch 24, and there's a lot of LA traffic. So I packed everything up, and I'm really focused on, I gotta get home and watch 24, I really want to watch this episode. So I get on, I'm at the elevator, I'm at my job at Harmony Gold, and we have a theater. We have a big 400-seat theater that's often rented out. And the elevator opens, and I see one of my coworkers, but he doesn't get off. I just thought, well, that's very odd, but I have to get home and watch 24. Okay, so I walk on the elevator, and there's my coworker, and there's a man and a woman. And I'm just like, okay, the elevator starts going down, and I'm looking at this man, I'm looking at this woman, thinking, God, this guy looks awfully familiar, but I gotta get home and watch 24. And he starts talking, he's talking to my coworker and to the companion he's with. I was thinking, God, he sounds so familiar, but I've got to get home and watch 24. And I look at him, and he looks at me, and like it just like you can probably see it in my face. Like all of a sudden, I was like there. I was like, I just hear in my mind, the following takes place in the Harmony Gold elevator. It was Keith Sutherland. It was actually Keith Sutherland. Jack Bauer. Now, mind you, the 3rd floor of the Robotech office is the ultimate secure area in Harmony Gold. And I'm thinking, wow, Jack Bauer got to the 3rd floor of the Robotech office. He is fucking Jack Bauer. And he's just like there, like, you know, it was just so funny. Like, my God, he's right there. And what happened was the cast of 24, Fox had rented out the Harmony Gold Theater to do a Q&A for the Emmys to try to win an Emmy. And door opens, Kiefer Sutherland gets off, and the door closes, I'm going down, I walk to my car, as I drive out of Harmony Gold, I quickly call my friends, you won't believe who I just met, Jack Barrow's in the elevator, Darren! You know, he's like everywhere. That's how excited I was. And, you know, it was just very, very funny because there he was. It's just funny, had I not had this compulsive desire to get home and watch 24, I would never have met Kiefer Sutherland, so. That was sort of, and he was very gracious too. He was very gracious with our staff and very gracious with the people that was there. He really did very well, so it was really cool.
So Harmony Gold, you guys have, now is this your guys'
Harmony Gold, our building, if you ever go to Harmony Gold, you're driving along, you'll see the building. We own the whole building, and next to it we have a 400-seat movie theater. But now you're saying, well, Kevin, can I go see a movie in it? It's meant for private screenings only. So like, they'll rent it out for critic screenings or independent film premieres or like the Screen Actors Guild will rent them out for screenings or stuff like that. So that's why they'll do that. So a lot of times at Harmony Gold, you're there. And I remember I was there last year when Transformers came out. The side wall of the theater is the back wall of my office. So I'm working on Robotech, and it was 10 a.m. They were playing the Transformers 2. So you're working on Robotech, and all of a sudden you hear, Megatron, I shall kick you now. So I go on Facebook, I just simply made this moment of, I'm working at Harmony Gold, and they're playing the Transformers movie right behind me in the theater. And like, I had like 20 responses, like, oh my God, Kevin, you're the dream job, it's so cool. And that's one of the funny things too about the theater is that like, it's 10 a.m. and you'll hear them, because oftentimes they'll run the movies to test them to make sure the theater's up fully calibrated, and like you're there, you'll hear like, I remember one day like they'll play Toy Story, or they'll play The Incredibles, or
It's a good movie.
yeah, it's a very good movie. Like right now they played oh God, what was it? Toy Story 3 in the theater. It's like it's really good. Sometimes like the directors will show up. Brad Bird was there one time.
Oh, cool.
You know, so it's really kind of cool to have it there. So
Nice.
yeah. So
Right on.
all right, great question. So oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I got an interesting person.
You did?
Actually, I got the reason I asked you is because you know there's different levels of interesting and all that. As far as most interesting guest, and this just a couple weeks ago I was at Anime Expo, and most of their guests at Anime Expo are Japanese guests, and they'll have like maybe one or two American guests. How many of you guys know who Nabishin is, or have heard of Nabishin, or you know, if you guys are ever lucky enough to meet this guy in person, he is, you know, I don't speak Japanese. I'm a gaijin. I'm a foreigner. I don't understand anything of it. I was working guest relations for Anime Expo, and they had a guest breakfast where they had all the guests sitting down, and they had a translator sitting next to him, and he was telling a story about how it was his first time in LA on the subway. And I didn't understand, you know, the interpreter was speaking a little bit, but this guy was so animated that I could tell exactly what he was saying, even not understanding the word that he was saying. He was saying about how it was his first time on the subway, and he had never, the only subway stuff he knew was like from the movies, until he was expecting people to like pull out guns and everything. And as he's telling us, you know, the translator's like translate. It gets to the point where I don't even need the translator to understand it. But yeah, he's just an amazing guest. Other interesting attendees, I'm going to talk about Spooky in a little bit. There's a guy down in Florida who goes by the nickname Spooky Electric. So the names have been changed to protect the innocent, or not so innocent, which I will tell a story about him in a minute. But interesting attendee, and this goes back to, I don't know who asked about the question about crazy local attendees. I was working at Anime Expo in 2007 as a volunteer for the Harmony Gold booth. And there was this guy that like, evidently took offense at the way that the new Shadow Chronicles movie came out, didn't like the way that it had been directed or portrayed. And I actually met him earlier in the day. He tried to like, you know, give out his fan film to us. But I found out later that he had been like writing in a blog about how he was going to go to the convention and pie you or Kevin or
It was Steve and Tommy.
Steve and Tommy, and he was, you know, he had this whole manifesto written up online.
And in the manifesto, he says, I'm a pathetic public figure, by the way, which I thought was very funny.
So, evidently, and this actually happened, like, I went to, like, go get a drink or go to the bathroom, and I came back, and I heard the story secondhand from this guy. But apparently the guy, like, snuck in his bag, like, a can of whipped cream and, a paper plate, and in the exhibit hall, like, made a pie. And pied Tommy Yoon in the middle of Anime Expo exhibit hall. He took it better than certain guests would have. So, you know, Tommy kind of played it off, but, you know, at the same time, you don't know, you know, if it was just pie or, you know. So, well,
no, it was a
some guests would have,
concern.
like, freaked out and, you know, some guests would have tapped him.
Yeah. No, Tommy handled it
You
very,
can see
very
it in my
well.
head now.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy was just definitely a couple of tacos short of a combination plate.
Yeah.